Pokemon took a break in 2024. What are they cooking up in 2025? Probably something pretty sweet, not gonna lie. I mean, we know we're getting Pokemon ZA in 2025, but I don't know. Let's see what else they're cooking up here. All right, so go check out this channel. This is AOK Craig. Hey, I get it. I get it. Go subscribe to him. Pokemon games are about to get crazy in 2025. All right, let's see what you guys say.
2025. A new year, and a year I think could shape up to be a pretty crazy one for Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start out the year by having a little chat about what could be in the Pokemon pipeline for the next 12 months.
Because if you don't know, Pokemon releases so much. They release a game every single year, and people get on their backs for it. They're just like, the fans are always like, you can't do that because the games aren't as good. You got to stretch it out, let them cook up in the oven a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? I agree, though. I mean, if you release a game every single year, then they start to get a little, not as special, you know, and they're not as polished, you know. Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, you know, they were good games, but they definitely had some problems. So just let them cook up a little longer. So hopefully Pokemon ZA is a little better than what we had previously, because it's had time to cook a little longer.
Because I think there are a fair few possibilities. Some more likely than others, but we'll talk about them all anyway. I made basically the same video last year, and much like 99% of my fellow Pokemon fans, I got it horribly wrong. And I probably will again, but it's fun to speculate. So I'm going to stick my neck out once again at the start of this year.
Come on now.
Maybe this could be a yearly tradition I'm starting up here, who knows. So, one thing we know is coming this year is the brand new Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yes,
We've known that game is coming for almost a year at the time of recording this video, but we haven't had any additional information given to us beyond that very first reveal trailer from Pokemon Day 2024. A trailer that doesn't showcase any gameplay footage or aesthetics or anything substantial, really.
It's interesting how they're going for like a futuristic vibe now. They kind of went like old school, like back in the day type thing. Now they're going like futuristic. So
it was this blueprint style animation that looked really cool, but didn't give anything away, apart from maybe some of the Pokemon that will be in the game. I imagine they wouldn't put Pokemon in this trailer that won't actually be in Legends ZA. Famous last words, maybe. I hope not. I really want Onix to be in this game. I think we were all surprised that we didn't...
Bro, Onix has to be the most hated Pokemon in my book, bro. Not the most hated, but like... Homeboy's just a bunch of rocks, like, stacked together to make them look like dog's poop.
Get any further updates on this game in 2024. And that's not a complaint, by the way. I'll always say it. Letting Game Freak cook is a good thing.
Yeah.
We want them to take the time needed to make this game good. Always.
They need so much time, bro, because there's so many problems with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's a good game, but there's a lot of glitches and problems.
Saying here is that it's just bizarre that we didn't get, the starter Pokemon revealed, or the box art, or some rough concept art even. Yeah. Things that wouldn't even involve showing game footage. Because usually, once you've revealed a game that's coming up, generally, you want to try to keep people thinking about it, steadily build excitement around it. But Game Freak have gone a whole different route this time, and just shut out the world to lock in with development, I guess. But it's safe to assume that we will get some more info on Pokemon Legends ZA in the next Pokemon Presents.
For sure.
Which unless something crazy unfolds, will be on Pokemon Day, which is the 27th of February, which is on a Thursday this year.
I would be shocked if we got no information about Pokemon ZA this upcoming Pokemon Day. Like, there's something wrong if we didn't get, what are they doing if we don't get any information? Because, could you imagine if it got delayed and we didn't have a Pokemon game for, 2 years in a row? That'd be crazy. I mean, I guess, like I said, the longer it takes for the game to cook, the better the game's going to be. But I'm just saying, it's just so odd for Pokemon not to release a game per year. That's just not like them. So when they didn't release one in 2024, it was super weird. So definitely going to be something at this Pokemon Presents. I'm just like sure of it.
Line up pretty well. The pre-orders could start the next day on the Friday maybe. But yeah, that is the main...
Do you think it'll be a Switch 2 release though? Like, because if they announce it this February, and the Switch 2 is going to get... I just solved it right there. Right there and then, bro. The Switch 2 is getting announced in the next couple months. We don't know exactly when, but it's definitely before the end of the fiscal year, which is March. Bro! Oh, yeah. They are definitely... This is going to be a Switch 1 and Switch 2 title, I believe. Yeah, cross-gen. They're going to announce it during February. Get everyone hyped. It's happening.
Thing we're anticipating. And I imagine we're going to get a pretty comprehensive idea of Legends CA on Pokemon Day. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a really long-form trailer for the game during that presentation. We haven't been drip-fed anything, so everything's just going to come at us all at once. That's my current prediction anyway. As for when the game will be released, at the moment, I'm predicting the middle of the year somewhere. Maybe May or June, somewhere around there.
I think it'll be either the summertime or like fall. I think it depends on when Switch 2 comes out. I think it'll release alongside Switch 2. Probably across gen, like I said. You know, so you can still play it on your Switch 1. Or, hey, they might just say for Switch 2. Who knows? Because then they might. If they just say Switch 2, then that's... I mean, it would suck for anyone who can't just go out and just buy a Switch 2, you know. But it's a good marketing tactic just to say, hey, it's on the Switch 2. You have to buy a Switch 2 to play it. Hey, they'd make a lot of sales. People will buy consoles just to play Pokemon. I'm not even kidding.
The reason my current prediction is May or June is because I have this weird feeling that I've had for a while, and this is the thing that's going to get the comments section firing, I just know it, that something else might also drop in 2025.
Hey?
I'm not entirely sure what, but I think something else might be released in
Maybe we'll get
November.
2 this year.
I can't imagine Pokemon having 2 years in a row without a holiday release. That's kind of where this has stemmed from. There are a few things I can envisage, and obviously take everything I say here with a bucket of salt.
Okay.
The first being definitive Scarlet and Violet versions for the Switch 2. I'll be honest, I've been marinating on that for a while now, and the more I do, the less I feel like it could happen.
Like a remake? Is that kind of like a...
We've played Scarlet and Violet to death
Not really
at this
a remake.
point. Ask me a year ago if I'd play them again with upgraded performance and graphics.
Yeah, like
and I'd have
upgraded.
said, yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm just personally pretty burnt out with these...
You know, people were pretty mad when Scarlet and Violet came out. Like, it was a good game. People liked it. People enjoyed it. It obviously sold really well. But, like, there were some problems with it. So, you know, it would kind of make sense. And they could, like, you know, release the Pokemon ZA in the summer alongside Switch 2. And then in November, release like a kind of another version of Scarlet and Violet. Just, like... a version that doesn't have as many glitches, a version that doesn't have any... It could... it's a stretch, but it could happen.
Titles. I love them for the story. I've played through them multiple times to soak it all in. But I'm ready to do something different now. I've actually really enjoyed going back and playing older games again during this little downtime period in Pokemon releases. And it's actually something we haven't had much time to do in recent years because of how breakneck the pace of new game releases has been. It's been great to go back and replay some of the games I'd only ever previously played the one time, like X and Y and Heart Gold Soul Silver. But could Scarlet and Violet be refined and re-released? It'd probably have to be an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon kind of deal, where there are some distinct differences to really make it worth it. Otherwise, I'm not sure how well it'd be received. But the odds are above 0% in my opinion. We'll have to see. Another possibility could be a spin-off game, like another Mystery Dungeon, or maybe a completely new spin-off game.
Just like a smaller Pokemon game, yeah?
I think it'd be cool to get a Pokemon arcade game collection. Pokemon Pinball's already a thing.
Yeah.
God, I loved that as a kid. So remake that and throw it on a cartridge with a Pokemon Space Invaders and a Pokemon Pac-Man, stuff like that. Or maybe some long-awaited Switch ports for older games could be on the cards. That's actually something I predicted would be announced on Pokemon Day last year. One of the many things I predicted that weren't even close to happening. Looking at the consensus on social media at least, it seems like people are really yearning for the Gen 3 titles on the Switch. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Ports of this whole conversation on their own, but if they did happen, that would be a really good way to keep people occupied until Gen 10 drops, which is looking like a 2020
Pokemon Go on the Switch. Just kidding. It's a joke.
6 deal.
Calm down.
Which brings us on to the topic of Generation 10 Pokemon games. My big question to everyone here watching this video is, do you think Game Freak will announce the Gen 10 games this year?
Yes. Now let me, hold on. No. Actually, oh, that's a good question. Probably not. I'm gonna say no. Unfortunately, I think this Pokemon Day upcoming, you're gonna have more information on Pokemon ZA, and then next year, next Pokemon Presents, next Pokemon Presents after that, we'll get information on Gen 10. Yeah. Pokemon Gen 10 seems like a 2026 title, not a 2025.
Because, I mean, they did announce Legends ZA last year, when it's not coming until well into this year. So it's not totally implausible for Game Freak to announce the Gen 10 Pokemon games with a similar style teaser to the one we got for Legends ZA. Personally, I don't think they will. I'd be very surprised if they did. I think they'll want to fill 2026 with as much hype and excitement as possible, with it being the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. So I think they'll announce Gen 10 on Pokemon Day 2026. But definitely let me know what you think in the comments. The final possibility I can think of is a remake, which is kinda what a lot of us anticipated last year. But I think unless they've massively outsourced it again, that's a very faint possibility. As a Johto fan, gosh, it's been 15 years now since we last had a game taking place in Johto. I was getting to the point of saying, give me a BDSP style port of Heart Gold Soul Silver or something. I don't care, I just want something Johto again.
That would be crazy,
but just not a Let's Go game, please. I'll expand on that comment in a video that's coming within the next few weeks.
What are you saying,
Gen 5 is also up next in the generational line for a remake. But the gap between Pokemon remakes now seems to be getting wider and wider. We had 7 years between Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. It's only been just over 3 years since those games. So it could be a good while yet before we're seeing Unova again. So a potential remake, or set of remakes rather, in the unlikely...
You say Unova? Unova? What was he saying?
Category, I think we have to say. Of course, none of that could happen, and Pokemon Legends ZA could be the sole game release of 2025. And that's fine too. I'm always finding myself clarifying that this isn't me demanding more games from Pokemon. I'm just spitballing. It's fun to think about what could plausibly happen, and we know to expect the unexpected at this point as well. Pokemon does have a lot of video game plates spinning nowadays, doesn't it? Between the mainline games, and Pokemon Go, TCG Pocket, Unite, Cafe Remix, if you're one of those people. I do feel like all of those have their own audiences though. There is some overlap, sure, but they each seem to exist within their own dedicated little spaces too. So I think that's why Pokemon's 2024 felt emptier to some people than others.
Yeah.
Just depends which circles you're running in.
They didn't really release
I'll be honest, it's interesting to me that Pokemon have gone the route of taking more time between releases instead of the alternative. Because the situation was basically this. The games were falling in quality because of too little manpower in too little time. One of those things needed to be increased. When BDSP became a thing, and we learned that it was outsourced to Ilka, the way I thought they were starting to go, the way it looked to me at least, was that they were enlisting more resources and outsourcing more development to keep the machine running at the same pace. Which kinda made more sense in my head. I could just imagine the shareholders being like, do not slow down. Find a way to manage the load better. Personally, my wallet was kind of grateful for the break in 2024 because we're probably going to have a whole new console to think.
It like loading in, bro. The game, like it, they could do so much. You are the #1 IP in the world, Pokemon. The #1 IP in the world. You can release games that don't have all this crazy
think about in 2025.
Bro, lag.
Anyway, why don't you guys tell me what you think 2025 is going to shape up like in the comments? Do you think Pokemon...
Yep. Yeah, go check this guy out. He's awesome. Yeah. So they're taking more time for Pokemon ZA, which I appreciate. I really do appreciate that. And I hope they take more time for the game so that they can be better. But what do you guys think? Would you rather just Pokemon release one every single year? Would you rather them cook up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Just cook up a little bit. I don't know. Let me know down below. Woo! Turtwig the God!